Hello, I'm going to do the Scorpio energy reading for the 12th to the 18th. As always, take what resonates, leave what does not. I'm also going to do an extended, and that extended will be available on my membership page. And there is a link at the bottom of the video and in the description if you are interested in that, if this resonates with you. All right, so I have my Psychic Tarot for the Heart cards. And I have my cleansing crystal on top. So we're going to get started. So we have the current situation is the Three of Pentacles. All right. So we have that is crossed by number 20, Blossom, which is the Judgment card. We have what do you need to focus on? Challenging times. What are you leaving behind? We have number 19, Shine, which is the Sun. We have your strengths, which are Nine of Pentacles, well-deserved reward. We have the near future, which is Rebuild, number 16, which is the Tower. We have the Advice, which is Nine of Wands, which is Rest and Reconsider. This is the Five of Wands. I don't know if I said that, I can't remember. We have the Environment, which is the Five of Pentacles, Change your focus. We have Hopes and Fears, number 13, Release, which is the Death card. And the overall energy, we have one Ace of Cups, Love Abounds. And bottom of the deck, we have number 21, Embrace, which is the World card. And I like how it has like this, sorry, I have the hiccups. Whoa. We kind of have, it kind of looks like a heart and it has like the veins reaching out, or it's like a tree and it has like the roots, but it's like spreading. And we have the lotus flower here, which is kind of releasing and letting go. So I feel like you're definitely struggling with something right now, but I feel like this Tower moment here kind of brings in this shift and this change for you. So we have the current situation, which is the Three of Pentacles. And then we have that crossed by the Judgment card. So I feel like there's something that is, Judgment is an awakening, a renewal, a revival. It's hearing the message. There's a message that is trying to get through for you, but I feel like you've kind of been ignoring it and you haven't really been listening. I kind of feel like there have been signs around you that have been trying to get through for you, but you're really not listening and you're really not focusing on those. I almost feel like you have those blinders on and you're just kind of focused on something else. And I feel that with this Tower card being next to this, I feel that there is, because the Tower is something is built on a false foundation and it's cracking and it's falling apart and it's coming down. And I just feel that this is what you're ignoring. Like there's a situation where you're really not looking at the truth of the situation, or it could be a situation that is you don't really want to deal with. It's like, oh, I don't really want to deal with that situation because it's going to involve all of this stuff and it's going to be really hard, or I'm going to have this conversation and I don't want to stir things up. I don't want to create problems. I don't want to, I want to avoid them at all costs. My ex-husband was a Scorpio and he avoided confrontation like the plague. I mean, he would just, and that was part of the problem why he's my ex-husband, is because he never communicated about anything, and he never said like anything. And he just sort of shut down. I mean, I'm not saying all Scorpios are like that, but that's what I kind of feel like this energy right here is, that you're just kind of, you don't want to deal with a situation. You just want to sweep it under the rug. And the reason why you don't want to is because it's a challenging time. And I feel like by avoiding this, it's just going to create bigger problems until things just fall apart, and it just kind of hits the fan, and it's just like, it's a bigger mess to have to deal with. I feel that if you're able to work on it and confront it and say, okay, because then you have control of the situation instead of just waiting until everything explodes and falls apart. Then it's like, okay, how do I deal with it from here, and just cleaning up that aftermath. But if you sit down and you figure out, okay, I need to handle this situation and I need to deal with this, and this is how I want to do it, and kind of get yourself in that mindset of handling the situation, then you feel like you're in more of control, and I feel like it's not as much as a fallout. We have what your past, or what are you leaving behind. We have the Sun card, but I almost feel like it's kind of like a comfort level that you had, but I feel like it was a false comfort level. And it was like, I feel like you were trying to convince yourself that you were happy in this situation and that things were okay. And I feel like that's what you're leaving behind, and you're facing the reality and you're rebuilding, right? Because this is the Tower, but it also says rebuild here. So it's like you're rebuilding something that is stronger, something that is better, something that is more stable, something that is more reliable. And I feel like that's kind of releasing the falsehood, but focusing on rebuilding something that has truth to it. We have your strengths. We have the Nine of Pentacles. And I feel like you are able to see the bright side of situations. And it says well-deserved reward. And I do feel that you do work hard on things. And I do feel, that you are able to make things happen for yourself. And this is a well-deserved reward, for working on this challenging time and working through it and not giving up and staying focused. Again, we have in the near future, we have the Tower. So that's what I've already talked about that earlier. It's about rebuilding, right? Because you're acknowledging what's going on, you're taking control of the situation, and you're kind of looking out for yourself, and you're saying, I deserve to be, through this and not stressing and creating all of this anxiety, worrying about when it's going to hit the fan, that I'm taking control of a situation. We have the advice is to rest and reconsider. Again, I feel like it's reconsidering about sweeping things under a rug or bringing it to the forefront and dealing with that situation. Maybe it's just time for you to step away and really see how it's affecting you, and how maybe you're sitting on pins and needles waiting for this Tower moment to happen, but it's kind of time to face the music. But of course, that's something that you have to decide for yourself. We have the environment, change your focus, right? Changing your focus on how to, instead of figuring out how to avoid something, changing it to how do I confront something? How do I move past this situation, right? How do I get through this situation? We have the hopes and fears. We have release. So I feel like this is release and this is release. So I feel like it's releasing that energy. We have the Death card. Death card is you're holding on to something that is no longer working for you, that is holding you back. And Death card is also about transformation and change. So it's time for you to release. Also, there could be that fear of, well, if I let that go, then what am I going to hold on to? What am I going to, maybe this is something that has become very regular in your life, and you're like, well, I'm almost kind of used to this anxiety and this stress and this energy, but it's like, what does it even feel like to have, the Ace of Cups, my cup overflowing and not worrying and being able to focus on what I want to focus on and not having that stress. Like, it's, even though like people can get used to these negative things, and that can be their comfort zone. I know that for me, definitely for many decades of my life, my comfort zone was feeling in this anxiety and this stress, and feeling not very good about myself and having a lot of negative energy, but that was my comfort zone. And literally I was afraid when things would go right and I would be happy. And in my head, I would say, okay, when are things going to go wrong? Like, like I remember it, and I would have a really good day, and I'd be like, okay, when are things going to go bad? When are things going to go? And my mind would just be like focusing on when is the bad going to come, instead of embracing the happy, embracing the good. And I was always trying to put myself in that negative energy. That was my comfort spot. That was my comfort zone. And I've learned to break myself free from that. And it was felt so good. It feels so good to not be in that energy anymore. Even just thinking about it brings a heaviness to myself. So that may be the same thing for you. And it may be that fear of what does it feel like to not be in fear of things going right and things being positive and happy and going my way and having success. The potential outcome is the Ace of Cups. It could be those new relationships. It could be new beginnings. But I also feel that it's your cup is overflowing and you're like, I feel so much better. I'm so glad. And I also feel like it's a learning lesson for you is to not let things get to this situation again and to head those off before they happen. And so that you're not putting yourself in that energy. And if that's your comfort zone, that you're like, you know what, I want to change that. I want to be in the comfort zone of love abounds, right? I want to be in that comfort zone of that, and of feeling light and feeling free and not having this heavy energy around me. All right, I'm going to grab a energy oracle for this. And we have 5th chakra, which Archangel Gabriel, which is the throat chakra. And it's time to speak up. It's time to release. It's time to say what you need to say and speak your truth and get things off your chest and have conversations and release that and let that go. Like, I feel that there are things that you want to say, but you've been holding back because you don't want to create friction. But I feel like it's building up inside of you. And take that time to figure out how you want to say it, whether it's writing it down in a letter, to give to somebody else, or an email, or, text message isn't the best, but at least it's the start of a conversation. If you send it, if you're sitting there with the person and you say, okay, I'm going to send this to you and I want you to read it through and then we'll have a conversation about it, like that would be better. But there's something that you need to speak up about and to release that for yourself. All right, I'm going to grab a Angel Answers card. And we have There's Something Better. Without a doubt, there's something better. And the next card out was Abundance. Abundance. There is something better than being stuck in this energy and being in that falsehood and being in that stress and anxiety. There is something better, and you have to put yourself in the mindset of there is something better for me than being in this situation where I am right now, and I have to work on it. I have to realize it. I have to put my mindset to that, and I have to achieve that, not leaving that up to someone else. It's taking control of a situation and dealing with it and facing it and working through it, and then feeling so proud and confident with yourself that you were able to deal with this situation and that you didn't let it fester any longer, and you were looking out for yourself and you were loving yourself and doing that self-care and saying, I want to give myself the best environment that I can, and facing those challenging times. All right, I'm going to do an extended for this, and we're going to dive a little deeper. If you are interested, again, the link should be down below. If not, I hope you have an amazing week, and thank you so much for watching. As always, stay positive, stay safe, and I will see you next time.